All right, next we're going to go to manufacture. Okay, so we have our block here with our design on it. So we're going to go here, we're going to go to new setup. We're going to choose this corner down here. Then what we're going to do is we're going to go to the second tab. We're going to say fixed box size. And you'll see it just kind of sunk right to it. That's what we want. We want it to be exactly the same size as the box we made. And then we're going to change this name to Grogu and say OK. So now we have our setup. Next, we're going to go 2D. We're going to do an engrave. For our tool, we're going to select. We're going to go to Xcarve. We're going to go down to 60-degree VBit, say select. And this next one, this one's a little tricky here. You got to select all the different little top edges. You want to make sure you don't select the bottom edges, that'll ruin it. So select the top edges, and make sure you don't forget anything, those little pupils and stuff. All right, so I've selected all the top edges. Then I'm going to go over here. For the top height, I'm going to do stock top. The bottom height, I'm going to do stock top minus 4 millimeters. I'm just going to go down 4 millimeters on this. And then everything else, well, and then on passes, I'm going to do multiple depths. I'm going down 4 millimeters. So if I do 2 millimeters at a time, that'll give me 2 passes. That should be pretty good. That looks good. So I'll say OK. So we see it's generated this path. We can see it's doing a nice little V-bit here, but it's got these little areas like where the V-bit didn't get it away because the V-bit is only going around the outside edge. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to 2D. We're going to do pocket, and we're going to select our tool. We're going to go to Xcarve. We're going to do the straight end, which is the black one. We'll say select. Okay, so for geometry, this time what we want to do is we want to select any bottom surfaces where they're big enough that the V-bit didn't clear out the middle. So I'm just going to select the ones that I think meet that criteria here. And if you select extra, that's fine. You just don't want to select too few. So I'm just going to select these 5 because I'm fairly confident that these little bitty ones, the V-bit's not getting all the way down to the bottom. So just the ones where the V-bit's getting to the bottom. Okay, so I've got those selected. I'm going to go to heights. Top height is stock top. Bottom height is stock top. Again, we're going to do -4. On the passes, here's where it gets a little tricky. So what we want to do is we want it to drill these out, but we don't want it to drill out the nice little V-bit part. So we want to say stay a certain distance away from the top edges there where the V-bit was. So if you go to like this triangle calculator here, so if we say that the length here is 4, because that's the depth in millimeters that we did, this beta here, this angle we know is 30 degrees because it's half of the 60-degree bit. And we know that this right here is 90 degrees. And we want to know what B is. And B is 2.309. Okay, so if you're going to do a different size than 4 millimeters, just enter these in here, these two the same, and then enter in whatever it is for A, the depth of it, and it'll recalculate it for you. So let's say if you wanted to do 5, we'll solve. You'll see it's calculated for us. But we're going to have a depth of 4. So we need that to the offset to be 2.309. So we're going to say that the radial offset, now it's important that you're doing this on the radial. So we're going to do the radial offset at 2.309. And then the axial offset we're going to do at 0. Okay, it's very important. So radial at 2.309, axial at 0. Then we'll do multiple depths. Our maximum depth we'll do at 2 millimeters again, and then we'll say okay. Okay, so you'll see that I selected the ears in this other area, but it said those are too small for the size of drill bit that we're using here. So it's just going to do these little pockets in the eyes to get rid of that stuff. So that's fine. But you'll notice when we zoom in here that there is this little mountain right there in the ear. There's a little mountain right there in this ear, right? A little bit in there too. So what we want to do is we want to get rid of those if we can, but we're just going to use the V-bit itself for that. So what we're going to do now, we're going to do 2D adaptive clearing. This time we're going to select the special tool here. We're going to go to our local library. We're going to select this fake V-bit. And basically it looks like this. It doesn't look like a V-bit, but we're just telling it that this is what the tool is, but really we're using a V-bit and it'll help clear it out. So we're going to select that. In geometry, we're going to select again the ones where the V-bit got to the bottom. Okay, I have my 5 selected. Next, we're going to do rest machining. And the tool that we used to drill these out was an 1/8 inch. So that's 3.175 millimeters. So we want to make sure we have that. And our heights, again, we're going to do stock top for the top, stock top to -4, bottom, passes. Here we want to do the same stock to leave. Remember our stock to leave was 2.309. So we're going to do okay. 2.309 on the radial, 0 on the axial. We're going to do multiple depths again. We're going to go by 2 millimeter steps, and then we should be okay. All right, so you can see what it's done here is in these little corners where the 1/8 millimeter was too big. It's gone in and it's trying to clear those out in the eyeballs and in the little ears there, and also a little bit in the fingers, right? And that's what we wanted. So now what we're going to do is we're going to post-process this one, the 1/8 inch first. So right-click on it, post-process. We are going to use the easel. We're going to call this Grogu 1. We are saving to the desktop. I'm going to go ahead and post. And then the next one, we're actually going to do both of them at the same time. Next one, we're going to do both of them at the same time. We're going to do this one and this one because they're both with the V-bit. And so we're going to do this one first, even though we programmed it second. And then we're going to do these two second at the same time. So I'm going to right-click on that. Post process. This is Grogu 2. And post.